Picture this. It is 3:00 a.m.
Oh, yeah, the classic midnight hour.
Right. You're lying in bed, the blue light of your phone is just illuminating your face, and you are like 17 pages deep into a Reddit forum.
Searching for literally anything.
Exactly. You're trying to figure out if, eating a pineapple core will magically help an embryo implant.
It is a very specific, yet honestly incredibly common kind of midnight panic.
Yeah, and if you are listening to this right now, you might know that panic intimately.
Oh, for sure.
Because when you step into the world of fertility treatments, you are suddenly handed, well, a second full-time job.
A very stressful full-time job.
Totally. You are juggling morning monitoring ultrasounds before the sun is even up.
Mhm.
You're setting like 5 different phone alarms for complex medication schedules, and you are carrying this massive, invisible emotional weight.
Yeah, I mean, the physical toll is intense, but the mental gymnastics of trying to decipher what you should actually be doing outside the clinic doors, that's often what breaks people down.
Which is usually when the wellness advice starts rolling in from well-meaning friends.
Oh boy, here we go.
You know the ones, just relax and it will happen. Or try drinking this specific root tea. Or my favorite, have you tried positive visualization?
It is exhausting. I mean, you are dealing with complex reproductive endocrinology,
Right.
and you are being handed the equivalent of a generic pastel-colored greeting card.
That is the perfect way to describe it. It's so frustrating.
Vague encouragement is probably the absolute last thing someone in the middle of an IVF cycle wants to hear.
So true. So today, we are going on a deep dive into how that landscape is fundamentally changing.
And it really is changing.
It is. We are exploring how telemedicine is evolving away from those vague wellness tips and turning into something highly precise, something rigorously data-driven and incredibly specific to your biology.
Which is such a relief.
It really is. Our source material for this deep dive is a clinical overview of the telemedicine fertility care model used by the Berkley Center for Reproductive Wellness, which is based in New York City.
Right, and they do some fascinating work.
They really do. They map out what an integrative telemedicine consultation actually looks like when it is designed for, complex reproductive histories.
And looking through their model, the very first thing they eliminate from the equation is guesswork.
Thank goodness.
I mean, holistic care in this context has absolutely nothing to do with throwing darts at a board.
Okay, let's unpack this, because usually when people hear integrative or holistic medicine, they assume like a dichotomy.
A total split, yeah.
Right. You either choose the sterile Western medicine clinic with the lab coats, or you choose the holistic Eastern medicine practitioner with the herbs.
Like you have to pick a lane.
Exactly. You pick a lane. But the Berkley Center framework isn't about choosing sides at all. It is engineered for these two worlds to essentially read from the exact same textbook.
That is the foundation of this entire model. A true integrative consultation doesn't start with a holistic provider asking about your general vibes.
Right. No aura readings here.
No, not at all. It starts with a microscopic review of your existing Western medical file. I mean, the blood draws, the genetic tests, the ultrasounds.
They want all of it.
Every piece. They are relying on the heavy machinery of Western diagnostics to tell them what the internal landscape actually looks like.
Yeah, the text calls it building the clinical picture.
Yeah.
And the list of what they review is intense.
It's very thorough.
We are talking about ovarian reserve testing, which usually includes AMH and FSH levels plus antral follicle counts.
Let's pause there, actually, because those acronyms get thrown around a lot in fertility clinics.
Oh, constantly.
Yeah, so if we break that down, AMH, or anti-Mullerian hormone, is essentially a proxy for the size of a woman's remaining egg vault.
Okay, so it's like a stock check. And FSH, follicle-stimulating hormone, that's basically the signal from the brain yelling at the ovaries to produce an egg, right?
It's a great way to put it, yes.
So if the brain has to yell really loud, meaning the FSH level is high, it tells the doctor the ovaries are becoming resistant to the signal.
That is a highly accurate way to look at it. The brain cranks up the volume when the ovaries aren't responding.
I got it.
And an integrative practitioner needs to know that volume level. They also review prior IVF or IUI cycle summaries.
Right, because the history matters.
Exactly. It isn't just about baseline hormones. It is about historical performance. Like, how did your body respond to stimulation medications 6 months ago?
Or what was the exact millimeter thickness of your endometrial lining before your last transfer?
Precisely. They need those exact numbers.
And it doesn't stop with the female partner either. The source highlights a really heavy emphasis on male factor diagnostics.
Which is so important.
Right, because frankly, that seems to get sidelined in a lot of standard conversations.
Yeah.
Like, the female partner undergoes months of invasive probes,
Oh, yeah.
while the male partner just provides a basic semen analysis and is told he's fine. But this integrative review looks at sperm DNA fragmentation.
Which is a critical piece of the puzzle. I mean, a basic semen analysis tells you if the sperm are swimming and, what they look like.
The basics.
Right. But DNA fragmentation tells you if the actual genetic cargo inside the sperm is intact.
Wow.
You can have a perfectly normal-looking sperm cell delivering a torn instruction manual to the egg.
A torn instruction manual. That's a powerful image.
Yeah, and that leads to poor embryo development or even miscarriage.
So the integrative provider is sitting there looking at the torn instruction manual, the volume of the brain's FSH signal, the thickness of the uterine lining.
Taking it all in.
It reminds me of like a complex home renovation. You wouldn't just hire a contractor to start painting the living room without first looking at the architect's structural blueprints.
No, that would be a disaster.
Right. You need to know if the foundation is cracked or if the load-bearing walls are compromised before you start picking out wallpaper.
Absolutely. The blueprint dictates the tools. You cannot fix a structural issue with a cosmetic patch.
Yeah, painting over mold doesn't work.
Exactly. If a patient has diminished ovarian reserve, that is a biological reality. If there is high oxidative stress causing that sperm DNA fragmentation, that is a chemical reality.
So they have to know what they're actually dealing with.
The integrative consultation only moves forward once that blueprint is entirely understood.
Okay, so assuming the Berkley Center expert has reviewed this massive stack of Western blueprints, we move to the interventions, the actual tools.
Right, the fun part.
And reading through how they apply traditional modalities like acupuncture and herbal medicine, it totally shatters the stereotype.
It really does.
This isn't about lighting a candle and relaxing.
Not at all. The application here is strictly clinical. Let's look at acupuncture, for example.
Okay.
In a neighborhood wellness spa, acupuncture might be used to, help you unwind after a long week.
Sure, maybe play some pan flute music.
Right. But in reproductive medicine, it is deployed as a mechanical tool to influence specific physiological targets.
The source mentions it targets ovarian blood flow, uterine artery perfusion, and the pituitary ovarian axis.
Yes, very specific areas.
But mechanically speaking,
yeah.
How does sticking a tiny needle in your leg or your abdomen actually change the blood flow inside your pelvis?
It's a fair question. It all comes down to the nervous system and local vasodilation.
Okay.
When an acupuncture needle is inserted, it creates what we call a microtrauma.
A microtrauma.
Yeah. And the body's immediate response to that microtrauma is to send blood and immune factors to the area.
Oh, like a defense mechanism?
Exactly. By selecting very specific neural pathways, the practitioner is essentially tricking the nervous system into shifting out of a fight-or-flight sympathetic state.
And into a rest and digest state.
Exactly. Or in this case, rest and reproduce, a parasympathetic state.
So it's actively dilating the blood vessels that feed the ovaries and the uterus. It is physically widening the highways, basically, so more oxygen and more nutrients can reach the tissue.
You've got it. The tissue that is actively trying to grow a follicle or sustain a lining.
That makes so much sense.
And because it is a mechanical process, the timing is deeply specific.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you are prepping for an IVF retrieval, you don't just get acupuncture whenever you have free time on a Tuesday.
It's not just a drop-in appointment.
No. The protocol is tethered to exact clinical milestones. The stimulation phase requires a completely different approach than the days immediately leading up to the egg retrieval.
And for an embryo transfer, they probably time it to optimize that uterine lining right before the embryo is placed.
Exactly. The protocol changes entirely based on what phase of the biological project you are currently in.
Wow. And the same rigor applies to the customized herbal medicine, too.
Yes, absolutely.
Because the text makes a sharp distinction here. Herbal medicine in this context is not a dietary supplement.
You're not even close.
You are not meant to wander down the aisle at a pharmacy, see a bottle labeled fertility blend, and just hope for the best.
Right, because those blends are basically the pharmaceutical equivalent of a shotgun approach.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Exactly. Just hoping something hits the target. Whereas a prescriptive herbal formula is more like a sniper rifle. It is customized pharmacology based on that Western blueprint we talked about.
So it's super targeted.
Yes. The plant compounds, the phytochemicals, are selected to drive specific biological reactions.
Let's run a hypothetical based on the source material to see how that actually plays out.
Okay, let's do it.
Say I am patient A. My Western workup shows diminished ovarian reserve, My AMH is low, my egg vault is nearly empty. What is my herbal formula trying to do?
So for patient A, the goal isn't to magically create more eggs.
Because that's impossible.
Right, that is biologically impossible. The goal is to optimize the environment for the eggs you do have left.
Okay.
The herbal formula would focus on upregulating antioxidant enzymes and supporting cellular energy within the developing follicles.
You want to protect them.
Exactly. You want to protect those few remaining eggs from cellular damage before they are retrieved.
Got it. Now, what if I am patient B? I have plenty of eggs, but my reproductive endocrinologist just canceled my frozen embryo transfer because my uterine lining won't thicken past 5 millimeters.
Ah, that's a tough situation.
Yeah, it's too thin for an embryo to implant. So what then?
Patient B needs a completely different set of phytochemicals.
So the previous formula wouldn't work at all?
No, it would be useless.
Yeah.
Patient B's formula would focus on compounds known to encourage endometrial proliferation and improve local microcirculation.
Because you'd be treating the wrong structural defect otherwise.
Exactly.
You'd be reinforcing the roof when the foundation is what's cracking.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And if we bring in patient C, the male partner with the high sperm DNA fragmentation we discussed earlier.
Right, the torn instruction manual.
Yes. His formula is entirely focused on combating oxidative stress in the testicular microenvironment. It is highly, highly individualized chemistry.
Okay, but let's be real for a second.
Sure.
This brings up a massive logistical hurdle.
I think I know where you're going with this.
You are describing highly customized acupuncture and complex clinical herbalism. But the Berkley Center model we're looking at is a telemedicine consultation.
Right.
You are talking to this expert through a webcam while sitting on your couch. How are they possibly doing acupuncture on you through a computer screen?
They aren't. And that is actually the brilliance of this model.
Okay, I'm listening.
The telemedicine consultation is not about the physical execution of the treatment. It is about decoupling the cognitive diagnostic work from the manual labor.
Oh, so I'm paying for the brain, not the hands.
Let's frame it that way, yes.
Hi.
You are accessing a top-tier diagnostic mind who understands the intersection of Western reproductive endocrinology and Eastern medicine.
Okay.
They review your file, they do the complex analysis, and then they build the playbook.
Oh, I see. I get the master plan, and then I take that playbook to a local practitioner in my own zip code. So I just walk into an acupuncturist in my hometown and say, I am prepping for an IVF transfer in 3 weeks, and here is the exact protocol designed for my specific diagnosis by a fertility specialist.
And just like that, the limitation of geography vanishes.
That's amazing.
You don't have to rely on a local general practitioner who might treat back pain in the morning, migraines at noon, and then try to figure out your complex IVF protocol in the afternoon.
Right. They might not have the expertise.
You bring them a world-class, custom-designed protocol to execute. They become the hands. The telemedicine expert provides the roadmap.
It totally solves the access problem for anyone who doesn't live within, a 20-minute subway ride of a major metropolitan fertility hub.
It really opens doors for so many people.
So we've got the roadmap. We are optimizing blood flow with local acupuncture, and we are tweaking the local chemistry with custom herbs. But there is a third pillar in the source material that targets the actual cellular engines of the reproductive system.
Yes, you are talking about low-level light therapy, LLLT.
Yes. Here's where it gets really interesting. Because we think about oocyte maturation, the journey a human egg takes to get ready to be fertilized.
It's quite a journey.
It is essentially a biological marathon. Like a woman's eggs sit dormant in her ovaries for decades.
Yes, since before she was even born.
Right. And when one is finally selected to mature, it has to wake up, divide its chromosomes perfectly, and prepare to create a new human life. That takes a monumental amount of energy.
It is arguably one of the most energy-demanding cellular processes in human biology.
So if the egg is running a marathon, it needs a massive battery. And LLT is basically plugging that cellular battery directly into the wall.
From a biological standpoint, that analogy holds up perfectly.
Oh, good.
Low-level light therapy utilizes specific, heavily researched wavelengths of light, usually in the red and near-infrared spectrum.
Okay.
When those photons penetrate the reproductive tissue, they interact directly with the mitochondria inside the cells.
And the mitochondria are the powerhouses.
Bringing us back to high school biology.
Yeah, right. They produce ATP, which is the actual energy currency the cell uses to do its job.
Exactly. And when an egg is starved for ATP, it stumbles during that marathon.
It gets tired.
Right. It is more prone to chromosomal errors during division, And an egg with chromosomal errors often leads to poor embryo development or a failed implantation.
Wow.
So LLLT stimulates an enzyme in the mitochondria called cytochrome C oxidase, which physically ramps up the production of ATP.
It is literally giving the cell more fuel to finish the race without tripping.
That's exactly what it's doing.
The source notes that LLLT is used specifically for patients with diminished ovarian reserve or those who have poor responses to IVF stimulation drugs, which makes total sense. If the system is sluggish, you want to charge the battery.
It is also used to help develop the uterine lining, again by stimulating cellular energy and local blood flow.
Okay, but to your earlier point, LLLT is a physical intervention.
Yes, it is.
It requires specialized equipment emitting calibrated wavelengths of light. Right, which means my webcam expert can't just beam near-infrared light at my pelvis through the Wi-Fi router.
No, sadly, technology isn't quite there yet.
Yeah.
It falls into the same category as acupuncture. The telemedicine consultation determines if you are an appropriate candidate for LLLT based on your Western blueprint.
Okay.
If you are, the expert prescribes the specific frequency, duration, and timing of the light therapy.
And then I take that to a local clinic.
Exactly. You then seek out a local clinic that has the proper medical-grade LLLT equipment to administer the protocol.
It is another piece of the playbook.
Right.
But all of this multi-layered planning brings up a really practical question about the reality of remote care.
What's that?
I mean, this sounds incredibly comprehensive. It sounds like the gold standard.
Mm-hmm.
But who is this actually for? And more importantly, what can't it do?
The limitations are vital to understand because honest medicine always acknowledges its boundaries.
For sure.
A telemedicine consultation cannot perform your baseline ultrasound. It cannot draw your blood to check your thyroid or your AMH. Right.
It does not replace your reproductive endocrinologist.
You still need the Western clinic to generate the data. You still need the architect to draw the initial blueprints.
The integrative model is entirely dependent on that local Western data. You can't have one without the other.
Okay, so who benefits the most from this model?
It is highly effective for patients actively preparing for an IVF cycle or a frozen embryo transfer, where the timeline is tight and the stakes are high.
Makes sense.
It is also deeply valuable for patients with a history of recurrent implantation failure or early loss who really need a microscopic look at variables that might have been missed.
The source specifically calls out endometriosis, too.
Yes, endometriosis is a big one.
Because endometriosis creates a highly inflammatory environment in the pelvis, which is incredibly toxic to both eggs and sperm.
It is.
You need a targeted strategy to lower that inflammation, not just a suggestion to eat more spinach.
Exactly. And as we discussed, it is for couples managing male factor diagnoses who want to aggressively improve sperm parameters before a retrieval. Okay, I have a hypothetical for you.
Hit me.
I am listening to this. I am already in the thick of IVF. I am tracking my medications on a giant spreadsheet. I am driving to the clinic every other morning for blood work. I am exhausted.
Completely understandable.
Doesn't adding this intensive, highly orchestrated, integrative plan just give me more homework? Am I just adding another layer of stress to a system that is already maxed out?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, we have to look at the root cause of that exhaustion.
Okay.
Yes, the physical demands of IVF are draining, but the profound mental burnout usually comes from a sense of helplessness.
Oh, toy.
It comes from the late-night Google spirals we talked about earlier, trying to play doctor and wondering if you are doing enough.
It is the cognitive load of the guesswork.
Exactly.
Wondering if the expensive supplements you bought off Amazon are actually doing anything, or if they are actively interfering with your clinic's medications.
When you engage with a precise, diagnostic-driven, integrative plan, you're actually outsourcing that cognitive load to an expert.
You hand over the mental burden.
A custom consultation doesn't give you more homework, it gives you the answer key.
Wow, that's a relief.
You stop guessing. You know exactly which herbs to take and why. You know exactly when to schedule the acupuncture. You have a plan architected to safely support your Western medications, not fight against them.
It removes the chaos.
Yeah.
You are trading the overwhelming noise of internet forums for a quiet, structured, individualized strategy.
The ultimate goal of the Berkley Center model is alignment. When integrative care and Western fertility medicine are moving in the exact same direction, powered by the exact same data, the patient regains a sense of agency.
So to bring this all together for you listening, true integrative fertility care is not a rejection of Western science. It is the ultimate embrace of it.
Beautifully said.
It takes the hard data, the ultrasounds, the hormone panels, the sperm DNA fragmentation metrics, and uses them to optimize every single biological variable within your control. It uses customized acupuncture to direct traffic on the vascular highways. It uses prescriptive herbalism to change the chemical environment. And it uses therapies like LLLT to charge the cellular batteries.
Everything working together.
And thanks to telemedicine, you can access the architect of that master plan from your kitchen table, no matter where you live.
It bridges a massive gap in modern healthcare. But looking at how seamlessly this integrates local data with remote expertise, it actually sparks a much larger conversation.
Oh, where are you taking this?
Think about the mechanics of what we just discussed. Taking localized, highly physical Western diagnostics, transmitting them to a remote expert, and receiving a comprehensive, systemic protocol to heal the underlying environment.
Yeah.
If this model works so effectively in a field as complex and hormonally volatile as reproductive endocrinology, could this become the new gold standard for other systemic conditions?
Oh, that is a fascinating leap.
Imagine applying this exact telemedicine framework to autoimmune diseases or complex systemic chronic pain syndromes. Conditions where local doctors often rely on symptom management just because they don't have the time to do a deep dive integrative analysis.
That's a great point.
What if patients with rheumatoid arthritis or Crohn's disease could upload their localized lab work and receive a customized, multifaceted playbook from a world-class expert thousands of miles away?
It completely redefines what a second opinion actually means. You aren't just getting another doctor to look at the same meds. You are getting a master strategy for how to support your body chemically, structurally, and cellularly.
It's a total paradigm shift.
It brings us right back to that 3.0 a.m. panic we started with. Instead of standing in the dark, scrolling through forums, hoping you stumble onto an answer, you are handed the blueprint.
You know what to build?
Exactly. You know the exact state of your foundation, and you have the precise tools to build something stronger. It changes the entire paradigm of how we heal.